Hey guys, I wanted to show you the standard volume setup for ThinkorSwim. So first, this is how you're going to open up your screen. You're going to want to go up here and click on charts, and then you're going to want to type in a symbol. I'm going to put in Apple, and then you're going to want to go ahead and get rid of all these. I'm just, for the sake of me showing you, I'm just going to get rid of all the rest of the grid. I'm going to get rid of the sidebar that was over here, and then I'm going to get rid of that little box by coming up here and clicking off customizable grid. Now we just have one chart. Obviously your grid, you set up your own way. This is the time frame up here. So let's oh no, not that yet. Let's go over to the beaker first, and then we're going to type in volume profile, or just volume pro. Yeah, there it comes up. Highlight that, add selected. It'll come up right over here on top. Keep it right up on the top. You can drag these around. I don't know if you knew that, but keep it right on the top. Then go over to the gear wheel, and this is the one change I like to make that I find it very helpful, and put a no instead of a yes there and say okay. I find it helpful because I use it for intraday trading. So I'm a day trader, as you know, if you watch any of my stuff. So I'm showing you how to set up this volume profile for day trading, but you can easily make it for swing trading, trend trading, or diamond hand hold trading. So don't forget to push apply here and then say okay. So now it's a big blob that you don't know anything about if you haven't looked at this before. Come up to your time frame here and make it 5 minute. Remember, we're intraday trading, but also do it one more time so we can make sure we get the day. So this says 5 days now, so open that up. You have to kind of scan that up, and then there's 1 day there. So you want to click 1 day there and then say okay. So now we're set for 1 day, and I'm going to explain to you briefly what the heck is this volume profile if you don't know. So the blue lines are representing the buying and selling. And by the way, you can change the size of these lines if you want to inside the settings there when you go back into the gear wheel and go into that actual line item. I like this, the way that they have the default set up. And then they've created a zone. You have kind of a yellowish orangish line here, and here. This is like the zone where most of the volume is being traded. See all the blue lines of volume? So it's kind of in the zone. It will, if a lot of it leaves that zone, if the most of the volume becomes, then the zone just slowly moves to where the volume is. But for the most part, you get a real good bead on where it is on every one of these candles represents 5 minutes. You get a really good bead on it. The other thing right in the middle is that red line, and I like to call that the magnet. So that is where the price action is going to gravitate to. It's going to be pulled to. That's how you have to think about it. It's actually showing you the opposite. It's like that's it's already there. But I mean now you can look at it like, hey, this is really happening. So you can see the stock was out of the zone down here, Apple, and it got pulled up, back into the zone. So the zone in itself is a magnet as well. This is just a more high intensity magnet. Look at it like I like to think of it that way because I can really understand it like it's being drawn a certain way like a magnet. So it got drawn back into the zone right up to the magnet, and as it passed it, it got buffed back from the top of the zone, almost tapped it, pulled back to the magnet, then left that magnet, got pulled back up to it again, and then tapped, didn't want to get out of the zone, and then back to the magnet, tapped again, back to the magnet, kind of consolidated, stayed at that magnet. Everybody's buying and selling right along here. This is where it's happening. Started to curl down, as the volume. This you can see volume. This is post and aftermarket. I'm early in the morning here showing you this, but it's sort of the volume is going to matter, so the volume's dropping off, but this is a volume profile. So it's kind of consolidating here, but being pulled back up, and then it's going away, being pulled back up. Look, taps it again, pulled back down, tapped it, came up. So it's pretty useful when you're trading, to see the action. If you're in a position and you're fading away and you're going, hey, I think it's going to come back up. I'm gonna hold out. You might want to unwind a little, but I'm thinking this is going to come back, or if it starts to go away, if it's going way up here, if you're a shorter, it's like, hey, I'm gonna short when it starts to get close to this and write it down. Or if you're long, start to unwind your position. You don't have to ride it all the way down. So I'm just telling you a little bit about how I trade as well as the volume profile itself. And so I'm hoping that was helpful. And this is one of the volume profiles that I use. I have another one on my page. It's called the Better Volume Profile, and it's scripted in, so a script that ThinkorSwim doesn't offer. And that shows a bunch of other stuff, including right across what the volume is for every candle. And then these volume bars down here are red and green combined, showing you how much of the sentiment inside the candle. So I use actually both of them. I just don't use this in the early morning because you need it to get a couple hours in the day to be any useful to you. In the early, right when the market opens, it's not going to be very useful because I would not trust the pre-market volume. I would want to, what is the open session volume telling me? I mean, it's not like it's not useful at all, but to me, if I'm trading later into the day, 11, 12, 1, 2, or maybe at the power hour, this is very, very helpful, And then my advice to you, unless you're dealing with an earnings call later in the afternoon or something, is I pretty much stop around 3:30 and definitely 3:45. But everybody's to each their own. But I find that you can't trust any of the indicators as it starts to go a little wild just before close. Anyway, guys, I hope that was helpful. Thanks for watching. I'll see you the next time.